The second key concept in this framework of changing people's minds is endowment. This is incredibly important, and this is one of the biggest considerations in psychology overall. And it's that people really, really value what they already have, and they're less interested in gaining something new than they are with just preserving what they have right now. And there's a status quo bias that's built into that. So people are more likely to keep doing whatever they've been doing and resisting anything new, because anytime you're doing something new, there's the perception that there is a risk associated with that I'm going to lose something. So people are more loss averse than they are greedy for gains. And the way that you work with this psychological principle in copywriting is that you surface the cost of inaction. So you might say something like, things are getting worse, your competitors are coming in. If you do nothing, you're going to lose. So by getting a demo of our product, by requesting a free consultation, by buying from us, it's not so much that you're going to gain something, it's that we're going to prevent you from losing what you're already losing and from losing more in the future. So it's almost like positioning your product as insurance rather than as a growth formula. The other thing that you do is you reframe things as regaining a loss. So it's like there was something that you had, but because you didn't have the right product, you ended up losing it. And I think it's particularly effective when you can show that things will continue to get worse if you agitate the problem by doing nothing. So let's walk through some examples that I just quickly wrote up here. So what we're trying to do is highlight what you will lose by not acting. Now, if you think of the way that most copywriters approach headlines and body copy, they're really trying to build excitement for what you gain. We're going to drive growth. We're going to get you more pipeline. We're going to get you more leads. We're going to make your company better and more profitable. But the kind of terminology that is actually more effective tends to be centered more around, we're going to prevent this from happening. We're going to save you X. And it's also, from a financial perspective, easier to prove contributions to profit when you're talking about reducing expenses than adding profit. And the reason for that is because if you can cut expenses, if you can reduce costs, that immediately goes to profit. It immediately goes to the bottom line. The reverse is not true when you're talking about revenue. Every time you add revenue, you are also adding expenses because there's cost of goods sold associated with revenue, there's added marketing, there's added administration, etc. So whenever you position yourself as somebody who's going to help a company with respect to revenue, only a fraction of that is actually a contribution to profit. So it's an easier sell to say we're going to cut your expenses. And I would say that in general, this idea of loss aversion makes more sense when you're dealing with larger companies, because larger companies have something to lose, and cutting expenses is more scalable across many different users and customers that they have. So the benefits amplify, and growth is more difficult to achieve once you are already large. The acceleration that you can achieve in growth is minimized based on your scale. So let's talk about some examples of copywriting. So one thing you might say, let's say, for example, you're a web design agency or a digital consultancy. You might say, thousands of potential customers visit your website every day, but only 2% convert. So what we're saying is that you already have this thing. You already have this traffic, but you're missing out because your conversion rate sucks. So our agency, our consultancy, or maybe our software plugin, or chatbot, or live chat, whatever you're selling, is going to prevent you from losing those opportunities that you're already losing. Second example, every day competitors are cutting away at your market share. In other words, if you don't talk to our sales team, you're going to continue to lose market share. Third example, how to stop losing your customers. So addressing something like churn. You already endowed yourself with this huge investment in acquiring those customers, in making sure they're happy, in customer success and advertising. Now you're going to lose them. So we're going to help plug that leaky bucket. Okay, so a little bit blurry, but I found this example from Microsoft. They're trying to sell their advertising, and it says, millions are searching, make sure they find you. So pretty relevant to what I came up with here. I didn't actually see this ad before I wrote it, but I said thousands of potential customers are visiting your website every day, but only 2% convert. So similarly, millions are searching, but you're not going to show up. Your competitors are going to show up, but you better make sure you advertise on Microsoft, on Bing, wherever, to capture that traffic that your competitors probably are. Okay, I want to say that this approach to copywriting is particularly important in business to business in one respect, which is that successful businesses are successful, so they actually have something to lose. And one of the examples I came across was Amazon sellers. So at one point I was marketing to large Amazon sellers, and I was looking at the research to figure out, okay, what do they care about? What's top of mind for them? And the thing that is top of mind for successful Amazon sellers is actually fear. They are afraid of Amazon. And there are a whole bunch of reasons for that. One is Amazon competes with you. They have their own products. They control the listings. They could easily smash you. Another thing is they could delete your account. They could say, okay, no, you didn't comply with our changing requirements. So Amazon's constantly changing their policies. And one day they might just say, nope, you're off our listings right now. So there's a lot of fear that you've built this multi-million-dollar Amazon business and suddenly it'll be taken away from you. So one company that could serve to benefit from this, and I don't think they have, I haven't seen it anywhere in their copywriting. Their copywriting is more tailored towards gaining rather than loss aversion, is Shopify. So persuading Amazon sellers to sell their products on Shopify to mitigate the risk that Amazon one day will just completely cut off your one source of revenue if you're putting all your eggs in one giant Amazon bucket.